Our second ever homecoming dance, and we had our annual carnival. This past Memorial Day, we also honored our veterans by placing flags on their graves. Next year, I know that the Gerstell Student Government Association will be in great hands under President-elect Jacob Betts. Elect because he ran unopposed, but he would have won anyway. So. I've known Jacob personally for several years now. Actually, we go way back to Shiloh Middle School. We used to ride the bus together, which is pretty surprising because I would have never thought in a million years that in 5 or 6 years I would be up here passing the gavel to him as student body president at Gerstell Academy. And in 6th grade, 6th and 7th grade, I didn't even know the school existed. So it's really mind-blowing to me. I remember sitting on the bus coming home doing magic tricks with Jacob, and he had this long hair, but he's transformed completely into a guy that is one of the hardest working kids I know. On the lacrosse field and goal and in the classroom, you won't find a kid who strives to be the best, better than Jacob. And I can't imagine someone more suited for the job next year. A quick word of advice is that whatever you do and whatever anyone, all the students and classmates going on, whatever you say and wherever life takes you is to always be sincere and always stay true to yourself. In the words of one of the great orators, Sean Bonnet, I'd like to say, he says, "It's harder to be yourself than it is to be anyone else." And I think that's one of life's great hurdles, is that you have to stay true to yourself no matter how hard it is, when you owe it to the universe, because you only have one unique self. So, without further ado, I'd like to pass this gavel on to Jacob Betts on behalf of the Gerstell Class of 2014 and the Gerstell Student Government Association, your 2014-2015 President, Jacob Betts.
Thank you, Casey. Gerstell Academy Student Government Association has witnessed a few remarkable leaders and presidents over the past 4 years. These individuals include Connor Eline, Madison Harmon, and Casey Gruber. Each president brought something very unique to the table, and for Casey, it was the ability to always come prepared. For example, he always came to our meetings prepared with agendas. I learned a lot from him. I wish to continue the legacy that he has provided not only to the Gerstell Student Government Association, but to also the school itself. It truly means a lot to me to follow these young leaders and having other people believe in me. Once again, I am truly honored to have learned many ideas from Casey, and I cannot wait to become the next SGA president. And congratulations to the class of 2014. Thank you.
And Jacob, Madison and I really look forward to you coming to the University of Maryland next year, as is tradition with student body presidents.
Thank you, gentlemen. It is now my privilege to present the Norm Smith Leadership Award. The Norm Smith Leadership Award is named in honor of our former member of our team, Mr. Norm Smith. Norm was a greatly admired and respected teacher, coach, colleague, mentor, and leader, and a friend who served the Gerstell community from June 2007 until August 2009, when he unexpectedly died. His presence and contributions to our school are memorialized with this award. The Norm Smith Leadership Award is the most coveted upper school award at Gerstell Academy. It is given to that senior who best represents the Gerstell Academy leadership model, which encompasses our mission, our motto, which is leadership, honor, and courage, and our value system. Our model and value system are represented by the 5 academic areas of leadership and the 7 functional areas of leadership development, as well as the Gerstell Academy principles and attributes. More specifically, this award is for the senior student who consistently demonstrates the Gerstell Academy leadership qualities in and out of the classroom, on and off the athletic field, and on and off campus. The award is more than just a simple recognition of positive behavior and compliance. It recognizes the intentional use of leadership, values, and skills for the improvement of themselves and their classmates. Gerstell Academy and the community at large, and in essence, this student is recognized by the faculty for their positive and consistent leadership example throughout their upper school career. Credit goes to Ms. Katie Hochstead, who chaired the selection committee for this award. Thank you, Ms. Hochstead. And at this point in time, there were 7 nominees, and I'd like each one of them to stand, and I will read their names in alphabetical order. Abigail Funk, Madeline Gardner, Austin Lyons, Andrew Nevin, Delaney Ostro, Fallon Patton, Josh Tabak. The recipient of the 2014 Upper School Norm Smith Leadership Award is Madeline Stone Gardner.
I'd just like to say thank you for everyone, especially my family who's really supported me along the way. And I know we all admired Mr. Smith a lot, and he's looking down on us today. He's really proud of all of us, so thank you.
As you heard earlier, our guest speaker today is Dr. Benjamin S. Carson, Sr. Dr. Carson was born in September 18, 1951 to Sonia Copeland and Robert Solomon Carson. His parents divorced when Ben was 8. Ben's mother, having only an elementary education, nevertheless understood what would enable her children to achieve success. She provided love, discipline, superb parenting, and emphasized education as the foundation of that success. She required weekly reading and book reports for her children in addition to the required schoolwork. As a result of this and his reading, Ben began to acquire knowledge and concomitant respect from his teachers and peers. After high school, Ben attended Yale University and received his medical degree from the University of Michigan. Dr. Carson completed his residency in neurosurgery at the Johns Hopkins Hospital, and at 33 years of age, was named director of the pediatric neurosurgery department, the youngest person ever to do so. As director, he led his fellow surgeons by performing numerous unique and groundbreaking surgeries, all of which brought him worldwide attention. With his penchant for education, Dr. Carson and his wife, Lucerne, better known as Candy, founded the Carson Scholars Fund in 1994. The Scholarship Fund provides scholarships to students grades 4 to 11 who demonstrate academic excellence and humanitarian qualities. Dr. Carson has been the recipient of just an incredible multitude of national, international, academic, and civic awards during his phenomenal career. A pinnacle in his career occurred in 2008 by being awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, our nation's highest civilian award. Throughout his life, Dr. Carson has been a prolific writer. He has written well over 100 publications. His colossal body of work has run the gamut from papers on neurosurgery to his most current book, released May 20th of this year, entitled One Nation, What We Can All Do to Save America's Future. Dr. Carson retired from neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital in 2013, but he's been incredibly busy. Currently, he's a Fox News contributor, a columnist for the Washington Times, a much sought-after speaker, and he and his wife currently are on a nationwide, or just finished a nationwide book tour promoting their new book. The father of modern medicine is generally considered to be Sir William Osler. Dr. Osler is one of the founders of the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. Dr. Osler was a great diagnostician in his day, and with his clinical experience, he could visualize issues and conditions that others could not. The saying, "Listen to the patient, he is giving you the diagnosis," is attributed to him. Dr. Carson, as was Dr. Osler, is a keen observer and superb clinician. I now suggest that if America is the patient, Dr. Carson has been listening, and he has the diagnoses. Gerstell Academy is truly fortunate to have a person of Dr. Carson's stature visit our campus, and wish to thank him for all he has done and is doing for medicine, humanity, and our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest, Dr. Ben Carson.
Thank you. I am delighted, honored to be here. I want to congratulate all the graduates, their families, teachers, everybody involved in a momentous occasion such as this. Now, it was only 45 years ago that I was graduating from high school. That time goes by very fast, but one of the things I remember is I used to tell my classmates that I was going to be a doctor. And that was a little unusual in my high school in inner city Detroit. And people were saying, but you got to go to college for 4 years, and medical school for 4 years, and internship, and residency. You'll be an old man by the time you finish. But a funny thing happened. When I finished, they were the same age as I was. So, and you know, you have youth on your side. You've got time on your side, and that is an incredible gift. I'm so happy that this school emphasizes leadership. It makes all the difference. How you lead. And that starts by how you conduct your own life. And my mother was a wonderful example of that. You know, she was one of 24 children. Got married at age 13. And then she and my father moved from rural Tennessee to Detroit, where he was a factory worker. Some years later, she discovered he was a bigamist, had another family. And I remember telling that story at a graduation at the University of Utah. Nobody thought it was that strange. But she obviously thought it was pretty strange. And you know, they ended up getting divorced. And she only had a third grade education. But you know, she was a person who would never be a victim. And she never felt sorry for herself. And that was a good thing. Problem is, she never felt sorry for us either. So, you know, there was never any excuse that we could give that was acceptable for anything. She always said, "Do you have a brain?" And if the answer was yes, then you could have thought your way out of it. And I think that was probably the most important thing that my mother did for me and for my brother, who is a rocket scientist, not accepting excuses. Because then you stop looking for excuses and you start looking for solutions. And that's really the key to good leadership and success in life, is finding solutions instead of excuses. The other thing about my mother is she was very thrifty. She could save and stretch a penny, a nickel, a dime, further than anybody else that I could imagine. And she would drive a car until it would make no noise. And then she would gather up all those pennies and nickels and buy a new car. And people were always saying, how can this woman afford to buy a new car? But she just knew how to save, how to be thrifty. In fact, I'm certain that if my mother was Secretary of Treasury, we would not be in a deficit situation in this country. Practical, common sense knowledge makes all the difference in the world. But